It was a sleepy Wednesday and Thursday afternoon. The vast expanse of the IKEA store felt endless as I stifled a yawn. That's when a teenaged boy strolled in, sporting a purple hoodie and black joggers. His hair, meticulously parted down the center, added a certain eeriness to his sharp features. It seemed like he'd used an excess of gel, causing his head to shimmer like finely polished silk. Despite my 3 months at IKEA, this was the first glimpse I'd caught of this boy. He came to an abrupt halt, dead center in the store, scanning the area as if on a quest. I yearned to offer assistance, but our manager enforced a strict policy against intervening with customers until they solicited help. Thus, I patiently awaited his approach. After a few minutes of his stationary stance, he finally locked eyes with me. An eerie, uninterrupted gaze followed. I called out to him while rooted behind the counter. Can I help you?" He gestured towards a corner and inquired, "There was a red high-back chair here last night. Where is it?" So, he'd been here previously. Given my daytime shift, it wasn't surprising that I hadn't crossed paths with him before. Politely, I responded, "The armchairs and chase lounges collection has been shifted to the business place section. So, you go straight, take a left, and you'll find it there." Anticipating his search, I was taken aback when he grew visibly agitated. Posing an unusual query, "But why did you move him?" His personification of a lounge chair left me dumbfounded. Sorry, but we're remodeling this place." Hence, the store manager decided to arrange it for his convenience. He doesn't like that stupid people. Without waiting for a reply, he stormed off to the business section, searching for his high-back chair. I was left utterly astounded by his peculiar behavior. What the heck was wrong with this kid? I remained stationed at the counter, half expecting him to return, perhaps summoning me to process the billing for his beloved chair. However, after half an hour, he departed the store without a word. Engaged with another customer, I couldn't inquire about his purpose for visiting. A sense of curiosity enveloped me. What could be so extraordinary about that ordinary high-back chair? During my break, I revisited the spot. The chair stood innocuously in the corner, indistinguishable from the other furnishings. No trace or clue revealed what the boy had done when he sought it this afternoon. Determined for answers, I turned to the store's security footage. Carl, our vigilant store security, was engrossed in watching amusing videos in the CCTV room when I arrived and requested to view the afternoon's footage. He played the segment where the boy walked towards the business area. As he neared the high-back chair, he did the unexpected, he hugged it. Yes, I'm not fabricating this. The adolescent hugged a chair as if it were a living being. Throughout his stay, he conversed with that chair. It was utterly disconcerting to witness. He laughed, made comical faces, treating the chair as if it were human. At one point, he even glared at the camera, wearing the same furious expression. His demeanor suggested that being recorded while conversing with a chair agitated him. What on earth was wrong with him? I couldn't fathom. That night, sleep eluded me. The boy's enigmatic nature and senseless actions haunted my thoughts. I was resolved that if he returned, would clandestinely tail him. The next day, I headed back from my lunch break. Carl hurried to me and said, "The boy's back." Without hesitation, I headed to the business section, right where the high-back chair stood. I pretended to tidy up a nearby area, hoping to overhear him. Surprisingly, he was so engrossed in his one-sided conversation that he barely acknowledged my presence. Seated on the floor, his monologue was unsettling. "Believe me, I know, she's no. Excuse me, but why did she keep? Can't they see who is? I do, I miss you. I'm saving up so I can take you home. I won't let you stay here longer. Yeah, it was fun to hit him with that rock, but he said you died. You're not dead, you can't die. I won't let you. I will fight everyone who will say things like that about you. Accidentally, I knocked the mop against the wooden table, catching his attention. His bloodshot eyes seemed poised to attack me for eavesdropping. Feeling awkward, I swiftly walked away, unable to hear the rest of his conversation. As he left the store, he shot me a deathly glare. What was he talking about? Did he believe the chair was his dad? But why such an unusual way of coping with grief, especially after losing his dad? I trailed him in secret. He reached a small 2-story house, and as he entered, I followed suit. I knew it wasn't my place, but concern for the young man prevailed. Summoning my courage, I rang the doorbell. Instead of him, a woman in her late 40s answered. Her swollen eyes spoke volumes of her distress. You don't know me, ma'am, but there's something I need to tell you. The boy who lives here is. He's your son? Yes, but why? Did he do something? I disclosed everything. Instantly, she dissolved into tears, revealing the other side of the story. The boy, Jason, lost his father to a heart attack just 5 days ago. They were watching TV after dinner when his father, seated in his favorite high-back red chair near the fireplace, passed away. Since then, Jason had developed this unsettling habit of conversing with the chair, as if his dad still occupied it. They sought psychiatric help, which advised disposing of the chair. Yet, once removed, Jason's condition worsened. He began scouring for a similar high-back chair, conversing with it as if it were his father. Understanding why he sought solace in that chair at IKEA every day dawned on me. I felt powerless to aid the distraught boy. Days later, Jason returned to the store. I refrained from disturbing him, allowing him his space. Unfortunately, the story took a tragic turn. During my sick leave, Jason returned to the store, sat on the chair, and took his own life. The grief of losing his father unexpectedly proved unbearable. I continue working at the store, where the manager promptly disposed of the chair after the incident. Whenever possible, I visit Jason's mother, now left alone in this world. I pray that wherever Jason is, he's finally reunited with his dad. May their souls rest in peace. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the video. If so, please leave a like, and also a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you want to support this channel and make this channel reach the 1000 mark, please consider subscribing, it's free. Ever heard of the SCP Foundation? You know, that fictional universe where they supposedly imprison monsters and strange entities. If you have, how would you react if I told you it might be real? Honestly, I'm not sure if it exists, but after what I experienced one Friday afternoon at IKEA, I can't dismiss these tales as mere internet stories. Some part of it has to hold truth. It all started years ago when I was young and oblivious to SCP conspiracies, monsters, or the internet. On that day, my parents brought me to IKEA, and let's be honest, I was incredibly bored. While they were occupied choosing a couch, I roamed around aimlessly. Something peculiar caught my eye. I stumbled upon an aisle that seemed to stretch infinitely. Furniture filled the space, but no one else was around. Intrigued, I ventured further, the exit slowly fading from view. How long did this hallway go on for? I had to find out. Ace, what are you doing here? I told you not to wander off while Mom and Dad shop. I'm sorry, Mom. Do you realize what could happen if you get lost? You could bump into a bad man or even a monster. Would you rather be with a monster or with Mom and Dad? No, Mom, I'm sorry. I knew monsters weren't real, but I nodded anyway. My mom started walking with me toward my dad, but my curiosity pulled me back. I gradually slowed down until my mom passed me, and at that moment, I seized the chance to turn around. As soon as I saw my mom a little further away, I sprinted as fast as I could. I was back on track. After a few moments, I grew weary and halted. I expected my mother to be behind me, hands on her hips, peeved, as she usually was. Yet, there was no one there. I glanced back, unable to spot IKEA's entrance or my parents, customers, or store staff. Nothing. I was somewhat bewildered but continued forward, hoping to discover another exit. I trudged on and on, occasionally sprinting. How many minutes passed? How could this place be so vast? I panted harder, growing increasingly anxious. I was in a harmless, well-lit, safe IKEA, yet something felt off. It was as if a part of me sensed danger lurking. Just as I felt on the verge of tears, a strange sense of calmness and hope washed over me. I glimpsed an IKEA employee with their back turned, merely standing there, eyeing some appliances. "Sir, I think I'm lost." The man had no face. Terrified, I began stepping backward, but he kept pace with me, moving slowly. I ran as fast as I could, thinking I'd lost him several times, yet he was always there in the distance, walking with an eerie calmness. That terrified me. Time passed, and he edged closer and closer to me. Was he gaining pace? No, I was growing tired, exhausted, and filled with dread. I collapsed on the ground. The faceless figure clothed in IKEA's attire stood before me. Yet he did nothing. He simply stood there, watching me without reacting. "It won't harm you, kid. It's still daytime. They only attack at night." Who are you? You're lost, aren't you? This place isn't for children. I've been here for months, and I haven't found my way out. But I believe I'm close. It must be around here somewhere. There are many people like us. Follow me, but I don't want to be here. I want to be with my mom and dad. Mommy and daddy aren't here. Child, come with me, or you'll die. Laughs. Attention, last customers, please head to the cashier area. Our business hours are now closed. I have to leave. I'm sorry, kid. You'd have been a nuisance anyway. Sir, this area is for employees only. I'll need to ask you to leave. It was another faceless IKEA employee, identical to the previous one but different. More aggressive, with a terrifying, dry voice, yet no mouth. What was he talking about? "Oh, you troublemaker, you've brought them." The teenager attempted to strike the IKEA employee, but it was futile. In an instant, with a mere flick of the hand, the creature snapped the teenager's neck, and the lifeless body fell to the ground. I couldn't witness the scene, for the creature, along with two others, appeared and fixed their gazes on me. "I'm sorry, sir. This isn't customer service hours. Come with us, we must escort you to the exit." As I uttered these words, the trio advanced toward me, but not like the first one. This time, they moved swiftly, as if running. Their distorted faces seemed to shift constantly. Their veiny, rigid hands ready to grab me and do what they did to the teenager. I dashed as fast as I could. I turned around repeatedly, hoping to lose them, but nothing worked. I spun around so many times that I had no idea where they were. I hid behind an oven and saw some men passing by. I thought I'd lost them. As I observed, something caught my eye. There were only two of them. Where was the third? "Sir, your presence here violates our work rules. This area is off limits." The man hadn't finished his attack. He charged toward me at high speed. Crying, I searched for something to defend myself, but there was nothing. "Mom. Dad. I'm sorry." When the man was mere steps away, I realized there was a door behind me, concealed by the appliances. With the last ounce of strength, I flung the door open and stepped inside. It was the exit. Suddenly, I found myself outside IKEA, surrounded by people walking and cops nearby. Hey, I found him. He's here. Everything happened in a flash. Suddenly, several policemen were upon me, grabbing me. They led me to my parents, who hurried over. Amid tears and scolding, my parents said many things, but I don't recall anything. I just drifted off, and the next thing I knew, I was in the hospital with a broken arm. For years, I remained silent, avoiding any investigation into the matter. When I grew older, I was urged to delve into it, and to my astonishment, I wasn't the only one who had experienced such events. Apparently, there was a fictional foundation investigating these anomalies, and the IKEA was known as SCP-3008. It might have troubled me deeply when I was young, but truthfully, I no longer care. Whenever I recollect what I endured that day, I prefer nobody believes me or asks about it. I will never step foot in IKEA again in my life.